Srimad Bhagavatam, and we're out in the kind of, how do you call it?
It's the courtyard.
Courtyard area of the place that we're staying at the moment in Brooklyn, which is very nice. We did a reading here before. This is St. John's the Baptist Catholic Church. Beautiful, beautiful place. You can see it's bathing in the sun right now. Because of that, it doesn't look so clear, but yeah, it's a beautiful place. Okay.
Alright, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 18.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 18. The branches of the tree standing on the bank of the lake received particles of water carried by the spring air from the falls coming down from the icy mountain. Purport. In this verse, the word Hima Nirjara is particularly significant. The waterfall represents a kind of liquid humor or rasa relationship. In the body, there are different types of humor, rasa or mellow. The supreme mellow relationship is called the sexual mellow, adiras. When this adiras or sex desire comes in contact with the spring air moved by Cupid, it becomes agitated. In other words, all these are representations of rupa, rasa, gandha, sabda and spasa. The wind is spasa or touch. The waterfall is rasa or taste. The spring air kusumakara is smell. All these varieties of enjoyment make life very pleasing, and thus we become captivated by material existence.
We'll do some reading this.
Oh.
Got very well.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Alright, so anyway, yeah. I broke up my chain of thought.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is that the spring kind of wakes everyone up and makes them, well, rejuvenated. That's all I'll say.
Okay. That was great. Yeah, interesting. Branches of trees standing on the bank, lake receive particles of water carried by the spring air from the falls. It's very poetic and very beautiful and very romantic and enticing. And the purport, I found it revolutionary in one sense. Different types of humor in the body, rasa or mellow. And it's interesting how it's referring these rasas, which we normally understand as Madhurya ras or Vatsalya ras or Sakya ras or like that, dasi ras. But it's referring to different rasas. The adi ras, is in contact with the spring air, becomes agitated. In other words, these are representations of rupa, rasa, gandha, shabda, and sparsha. It just seems like a whole worthwhile area of exploration. Anyway, text 19. In such an atmosphere, even the animals of the forest become non-violent and non-envious like great sages. Consequently, the animals did not attack anyone. Over and above everything was the cooing of the cuckoos. Any passenger passing along that path was invited by that atmosphere to take rest in that nice garden. Purport. A peaceful family with wife and children is compared to the peaceful atmosphere of the forest. I don't know that everyone would agree being in the forest is peaceful, although it sounds like a general term. But if you were in the forest, would you find it being peaceful? No. Okay. Lots of people are afraid to be in the forest, especially.
Well, that's where you're going to get killed, really. Go to die.
Okay. Children are compared to non-violent animals.
I don't know.
Sometimes, however, wives and children are called swajanakya dasyu, burglars in the name of kinsmen. There you go. A man earns his livelihood with hard labor, but the result is that he is plundered by his wife and children exactly as a person in a forest is attacked by some thieves. That's what she's always worried about. In the forest, you're going to come upon some thieves or burglars who take his money. Nonetheless, in family life, the turmoil of wife and children appears to be like the cooing of cuckoos in the garden of family life. Being invited by such an atmosphere, the person who is passing through such a blissful family life desires to have his family with him at all costs. So this is the, just speaking about the illusion. And of course it comes across very derogatory of family life. Family life is a struggle. Everyone knows that it's a constant challenge in so many different ways. Family life, dealing with our own mind, our own senses is challenging. What to speak of adding another person's mind and senses. And then you add like a couple of kids' minds and senses, and then throw in a goldfish and a dog, and you're looking at a real party of fun and excitement, which reminds me of the 20 Paisa circus. You remember that story, the 20 Paisa circus, where everyone's like, oh my God, 20 Paisa, 20 pence, 20 cents to go to a circus. But then when you go in the big tent, you stand outside, pay your money, you go in the big tent, and some guy punches you in the nose. And then you walk out, and everyone's looking at you like, what was it like? And out of embarrassment, you say, oh, it was amazing. I'm going to go again. You should go. You should go. And then they get in the line, they get punched, and everyone just keeps perpetuating the illusion that it's like a really wonderful and great thing, but actually it's a challenge. Now, of course, family life, which is centered around Krishna, will still have its challenges because being in the material world is a challenge. But as Prabhupada says in different purports, if one's family life is centered around Krishna, then it becomes as good as or better than a sannyas life. So like that. A few thoughts.
Alright, text 20. While wandering here and there in that wonderful garden, King Puranjan suddenly came in contact with a very beautiful woman who was walking there without any engagement. She had 10 servants with her. Jeepers. And each servant had hundreds of wives. What? Accompanying him. That's crazy.
So the servants were male. I understand you're disapproving of that.
No. That's not my disapproval. I don't disapprove. I'm just like, she had 10 servants. That's a bit excessive, but anyway. And then those servants had hundreds of wives. Where's the need for that? And why are they with the servants when the servants are like working? Why do the wives need to walk about as well? It's a bit excessive, isn't it? The body has already been compared to a beautiful garden. During youth, the sex impulse is awakened, and the intelligence, according to one's imagination, is prone to contact the opposite sex. In youth, a man or woman is in search of the opposite sex by intelligence or imagination, if not directly. The intelligence influences the mind, and the mind controls the 10 senses. 5 of these senses gather knowledge, and 5 work directly. Each sense has many desires to be fulfilled. This is the position of the body and the owner of the body, Puranja, who is within the body.
That makes sense to you?
Yeah. It's all the desires.
Well, the 10 senses are the 10 servants.
Yeah.
They're meant to be the servants anyway, the 10 servants. And then the many wives of the servants is all the different desires to satisfy those senses.
All right.
Text 21. Correct, yes. The woman was protected on all sides by a 5-hooded snake. She was very beautiful and young, and she appeared very anxious to find a suitable husband. Well, there you go. Purport. The vital force of a living entity includes the 5 kinds of air working within the body, which are known as prana, apana, dhyana, samana, and helicopter. No, it's not helicopter. It is known as prana, apana, dhyana, samana, and udana. The vital force is compared to a serpent because a serpent can live by simply drinking air. Interesting, didn't know that. The vital force carried by the air is described as the pratihara, or the bodyguard. Without the vital force, one cannot live for a moment. Indeed, all the senses are working under the protection of the vital force. So, the vital force being prana, or air, known within the body, it's described that the soul rests on top of these 5 airs, and also it's explained that any illness within the body is generally some disruption of one of these airs. Prana, I think, is in the heart. Apana is air coming into the body. Dhyana, samana, they're different. So one is centralized air, one is air coming in, one is air going out, one is air that rises, one is air that expels, one is air around the head, and one is air around the entire body. So these different pranas or life airs, they when you do the Anaprashana ceremony, the first grain ceremony, actually the first grains, each time you offer grains to the child, there are 5 offerings, and each one of them is to one of these life airs to help to bring the life airs in the body in balance. So like that. Interesting.
Alright, next paragraph. The woman who represents intelligence was searching after a husband. This indicates that intelligence cannot act without consciousness. The beautiful woman is useless unless protected by the proper husband. Intelligence must always be very fresh. Therefore, the word uprudam, very young, is used here. Material enjoyment means utilizing the intelligence for the sake of rupa, rasa, gandha, sabda, and spasa, or form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. Interesting. A beautiful woman is useless unless protected by the key word proper husband. Not just any old husband. There's no point in just having a husband and he's useless. He should be qualified.
Well, Srila Prabhupada said in some place, blind uncle is better than no uncle.
Yeah, but it don't mean it's good. It's
okay,
like,
can you explain what proper means?
I'm trying to.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Maybe that's the example. Yeah, like some people think, oh, for a husband, just for the sake of a husband, but it can actually make you miserable and ruin your life. It's better just to be like single and happy. You know, you just take on unnecessary headache and burden.
Yeah, not sure if I quite have completely understood proper yet. It just sounds very subjective.
Right.
Because a proper husband means what? Could mean one that protects physically, one that protects financially, one that protects, or proper could mean handsome or intelligent or capable or competent. It could, or maybe it means all of the above, which is going to be difficult to find.
Yeah.
But you got lucky. Okay. Should we read one more?
Yeah.
Text 22. The woman's nose, teeth, and forehead were all very beautiful.
I got a big forehead.
Her ears, you have a very beautiful forehead.
Right.
Her ears were equally very beautiful and bedecked with dazzling earrings. Purport. The body of intelligence enjoys the objects of sense gratification that cover it, such as smell, vision, and hearing. The word sunasam, beautiful nose, indicates the organ for acquiring knowledge by smell. Similarly, the mouth is the instrument for acquiring knowledge by taste, for by chewing an object and touching it with the tongue, we can understand its taste. The word sukhapalam, nice forehead, indicates a clear brain capable of understanding things as they are. So your self-proclaimed big forehead means you got big brain. By intelligence, one can get things in order. The earrings set upon the two ears are placed there by the work of the intelligence. Thus, the ways of acquiring knowledge are described metaphorically. Interesting. So just imagine, without the commentaries of the previous acharyas, we might be thinking, okay, what is this all about, this describing? But we have to remember that Narada Muni is reciting this
Just when we're reading, everything happens, you know?
all goes crazy. So Narada Muni is reciting this to who? King Prachini Barhishat, and it's the story of Puranjan, who is the owner of the body. So, and King Puranjan is kind of listening like, I don't get it. But over time, I think it starts to say that King Puranjan is sort of, King Prachini Barhishat is thinking, hey, this sounds a little bit about me, like me, you know, so like that. So then, but he's not understanding all the implications. So then later, Narada Muni goes back through and explains everything that more or less Prabhupada's putting in the purports.
Yeah, because Narada Muni is speaking like indirectly, you know, when you get told off and someone says it in a flowery way, and it's only afterwards that you realise, I think they just told me off, or they just
chastise me.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, and then you start to feel a bit embarrassed or a bit like, oh. Yeah, like that. Some people are very like, you know, gentle and have a way of saying things, and then like they punch you in the face and you welcome it because they said it, because they did it so nicely. And afterwards you realise.
Other people just punch you in the face and you know they punched you in the face.
And afterwards you realise, I think they just punched me in the face. And I said, thank you.
Okay, I think we'll conclude here. So
Yeah,
thank you all very
done.
much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam Ki
Yeah.
Jai. Haribol.